You know red circles of fire is sweet, so please like us and subscribe.
Chapter 11. The Paradise. As instructed, the three travelers put a good distance between themselves and the border guards. They were not running, but not walking leisurely either. Unaware of all of the customs of Makana society, Oto-Mani decided to hold Ola-Rhea's hand as opposed to his natural impulse of holding Diodi's hand. What became apparent to them is that the very air they were breathing was quite pleasant, scented with lilac and jasmine, not at all what you would expect of cave air. They were underground, but they did not sense that they were in a cave, that they were subterranean. Ola-Rhea hesitated to say something, but finally she shared. "I don't think we are under the ground of Rakana anymore." Oto-Mani quietly asked, "Okay, where do you think we are?" She paused. "I don't know. Don't react, but I think we are in the sacred zone." Diodi halted. "Where?" Ola-Rhea said through gritted teeth. "Keep walking, but I think we are under the sacred zone." "How do you know?" Oto-Mani was very curious. Call it intuition. The possibility sunk in with all three. Since they had no map to guide them, they walked along a main causeway to follow in the direction most others were walking. The sacred zone was the forbidden land past the southern mountain Flourish range. The protocols of the ancestors declared it was the earthly refuge of the celestial sisters. Only those worshippers the goddesses summoned or granted permission could enter lest they incur the deadly wrath of the goddesses. One ancient rumor is that the brother priesthood was willing to offer special entry prayers to the goddesses for the very rare few petitioners who could pay obscene amounts of fire gold, amounts that only a monarch or high lord may possess. Nonetheless, here, underneath the sacred zone, was an entire society, a nation wholly unknown to the three travelers until now, and likely unknown to nearly all in Rakana. They walked forward unaware that their mouths were agape. Oto-Mani softly commented, "My goodness, I am the monarch and I never knew this society existed. How could the protocols be silent about all of this?" The three were flummoxed. The sights that greeted the three travelers were not sacred, but they were most heavenly. Throngs of beautiful, youthful people, dressed in colorful and scanty clothes, promenaded along a sprawling, cavernous causeway. It was all illuminated by a variegated array of bioluminescent flora colors, lilac, turquoise, and tangerine. The travelers walked among stunning, natural architecture carved into cave walls and floors, including stairways, arches, shrine grottos, windows, love seats, benches, and balconies. In the distance, there was lively music and dance that was surrounded by towering stalactites and cascading waterfalls as bright sunlight poured through openings in the cave cathedral tall ceilings. Moss, plants, trees, and sprightly arranged bushes oxygenated the already intoxicatingly lovely aroma of airiness. A refreshing mist hung in the air and gave constant cooling relief. It was a surreal scene of blissful celebration under soft glowing lights. Yet what was most alluring of all the scenes that dazzled the travelers were the open displays of love, affection, passion, and sexuality they witnessed among the people of Makana. Love and passion were so freely expressed among the strikingly beautiful women, men, and two-spirited people that the three travelers encountered along the way. They were mesmerized as to how there were no judgments, no barriers, no inhibitions, just tenderness and desire. Women loving women, men loving men, men loving women, women loving men, two-spirited people loving beloved others, and any other conceivable combination right out in the open. Oto-Mani said through barely parted lips, "Are you two seeing what I am seeing?" Diodi responded, "It is very hard not to see what you're seeing since I'm walking right next to you." A playful jab in the ribs. Ola-Rhea agreed, "I love it. They probably don't have any priests or elders or possibly protocols telling them that they are loving wrong. They are just loving." Diodi grabbed Oto-Mani's hand. "Look how gorgeous and passionate they all are. It is just so magnificent. I've never felt so free seeing the freedom of others." Ola-Rhea added, "Well, remember that Mother Awama said that Makana is a perfect society, in short, a utopia. Maybe I'm reaching some conclusions too quickly. But unlike Rakana, there are no visible distinctions among these people. No lords, no nobility, no slaves, or workers. Indeed, this is the sacred zone." Oto-Mani thought about it. "I guess that's why those border guards were so fearsome looking. They have to protect their paradise." Diodi sucked his teeth. Well, yeah, but protect their paradise from whom? Us. Well, maybe I answered my own question. But the guards faced toward Makana, not Rakana. Coming from the smothering restrictions of Rakanan society, the public norms of Makana were a lot for the three to absorb. Along with the beauty of the people, Diodi could not resist one other observation. If I did not know better, I would think that these people are Aduma. Look at their intricate, gorgeous hair, braided in the style of Aduma. Ola-Rhea chimed in. Yes, you are reading my mind. They walked for several hundred more paces, being enthralled by both the people and the place. And then as they walked past enormous cisterns of water and acres upon acres of fruits, vegetables, and every possible variety of flowers, the travelers decided to rest for a moment on two short benches. They did not realize how long they had been walking until their aching legs and tops of their feet exhaled with relief. Ola-Rhea was strong, but she could only endure so much walking given her pregnancy. This is the most beautiful place I have ever seen, gushed Ola-Rhea while patting perspiration from her forehead with the back of her wrist. I agree, Oto-Mani said, gazing all around in awe. I love our homeland with all of its complexities, but this place feels like paradise. Diodi raised an eyebrow. But I just keep wondering why we never knew of this place. Is Makana underneath the sacred zone because the celestial sisters want to protect it from us? I just don't know. Ola-Rhea and Oto-Mani both shrugged. Me neither. After their rest, the travelers stood to stretch their legs before walking again. But before they could comment on how they each were hungry, a handsome young man carrying a basket full of what looked like pomegranates at a nearby marketplace asked, "Sister and brothers, are you hungry? Would you like to try these, freshly picked?" While they wanted to resist, they were very hungry. In Rakana, pomegranates are not the type of fruit you can eat like an apple or pear. Handing each traveler a large piece of fruit, he said, "Bite into them and see how good these are." All three profusely thanked him for his generosity, bit into the fruit, and enjoyed immensely the savory, sweet, juicy pulp of the fruit that was a cross between an apple peach mango and something else. Far more delicious and filling than they ever remember fruit being in Rakana. They thought to offer the man some sort of payment, but he had quickly swiveled and freely offered his fruit to others strolling by. Possibly this was yet another custom in this paradise. Are all the necessities in this society free? Do these people even use money or have fire gold? Just as the goddess had advised, they tried to blend in with the people of Makana while keeping a safe distance to not reveal they are outsiders. Yet, as they walked again past another bright aquamarine-colored cistern, a group of quite lovely young people giggled and hugged each of them as they said, "Happy love, sister and brothers." Their joy was too infectious. Ola-Rhea was the first to repeat their greeting and hug them back. "Oh, how sweet, happy love to you too." Oto-Mani and Diodi later joined in. Oto-Mani reflected, "I wonder if they also worship the celestial sisters. If so, I'm certain that Awa-Ma, the sister of love and fertility, would be their patron goddess." It was at this point that they noticed the women, men, and two spirited people who were walking along the same path all greeted each other gleefully with, "Happy love." "Happy love," Diodi delighted. "What a lovely blessing. I wonder if today is a special day, a festival, or if it is always like this here in Makana. I would think too much of anything can be tiresome." Ola-Rhea smacked his arm. "Boy, you sure are a cynic." They shared a laugh. Just then, the walls reverberated from the thunderous cheers and applause of a throng ahead. All around, groups of people began to jog toward a large, well-lit clearing. They giggled with joyous anticipation. It was like they were overexcited school children who were running because they were late for recess. The three travelers tried to match the crowd's pace and walked as quickly as Ola-Rhea's pregnancy permitted. They could not understand what was being said up ahead, but they heard a booming voice and the elation of a crowd.
Now, good people, please like, comment, and subscribe to catch the next thrilling episode of Red Circles of Fire.